Hey there, guys. It's Kage Tak coming at you for day 3 of the Guild War. Well, we're about to be into day 4, War 4, and I wanted to kind of, I don't know, go over my thoughts on things. We got thrown a curveball personally, and it was interesting because we had a guild that, I mean, by all accounts, the guild the guild was tough. The guild was not an easy fight. We lost to them last season because we only had 29 out of 30, and I think we could have maybe won, or it would have been closer if we had that last member, but we got our asses kicked. Well, we got matched up with them for round 3, and the alternative happened where or the flip happened where they had 29, we had 30, and if they had 30, they probably would have won. So needless to say, having a full group of people can literally make or break a fight. I mean, it was down to like 10k something points left. It was pretty silly. Let me get the results here for you guys. Posted them somewhere. Yep, here it is. Okay, cool. Let's pop this up. That is the wrong window. I don't care about that. What does that even say? Oh, well, no, I don't have that problem. I spend money on these games. Okay. So as you can see here, we beat them by about 10k points ish. It was very close. We put up a really good effort. I mean, I don't know how much harder a Battlefield level 1 is going to look for us. I mean, this was, these guys were ranked like maybe 400, maybe upper 300s, and we're ranked like, where are we on the scale of the actual grades right now? What are we in ranking? We're at 335. So, I mean, in terms of raid power, we're pretty similar. In terms of level spreads, I feel like they had a little bit better of a spread in terms of how their members were. I don't think they had any level 20s at all. I think it was mostly 30s and 40s. I don't think they had any 50s, but I feel like their split was pretty good. So they were, by all means, our only rivals. I mean, again, we went 5-6 last season. These were the only guys to beat us, and they put up a good fight. I mean, it even down to the very end, we could not count them out. It was like a couple times where I thought, okay, maybe we got this, and I held some stuff back in reserve just to kind of gauge what was going on. And I mean, it boiled down to we both almost wiped each other out. Like we both, I think at the end we both had like 2 buildings left, a couple of teams each. So both of us were very close to a wipeout status for what we were fighting, which also begs the question if 2 high-end guilds in Battlefield 1 can potentially wipe themselves out. Kind of sucks with the token thing. I mean, like, for the most part, here everybody got tokens because of the match. Nobody, they didn't get wiped out early, and people, missed their ability to get credit. But at the same time, it's like I'm still not a big fan of that system. I mean, if by all means, if we wipe out an opponent, the guild should still be able to get credits so they can I get the extra credits and not feel like they missed out on anything. Because as of this season, right now, I mean, we're at 2 wipeouts. This one almost went a double wipeout, double TKO in sense of things in terms of how we're going, and there is room for improvement on our end. There's probably room for improvement on their end as well in terms of how they approached our formation, and it's just I don't get that system still. I mean, somebody may have to break it down to me, explain to me why. I'm sure there's a really good reason for it, but it seems kind of, yeah, for people who are, getting into the war later. I mean, there's nothing worse than some guy who's in a guild who, let's say, they work and they wake up, they log in, and they've already wiped out the opponent, and anything they do, they've already lost 1,500 potential credits. That sucks. On the flip side, it's like, well, guilds should not have to have people wait and hold off to do attacks and other things, because people's time is precious in both ends. You don't want some guy waiting 8 hours to do an attack, and then life happens, and then next day he can't make that attack, so then he loses his. It's like, no. I feel like that the credit system, it needs some sort of rework, or just make it to where you can get credits for the wipeout. I know you want to, I mean, potentially keep people from getting too many credits per war by doing that, I guess, but it, it's silly. And it only hurts. It only hurts some people. So yeah, there's that. Now, the other thing that really begs the question is, we basically fought our toughest match. What are we going to get next? I mean, there's not really. I mean, I don't know if things are going to go downhill from here. If we're going to get just completely decimated, or have three really tough fights back to back because of the difficulty slider, or if, with them out of the way, that was the toughest fight we're going to see in Battlefield 1, and anybody else who gets matched up with us is going to have a bad time. I'm curious. I am very curious to see what is going to happen here, because Battlefield 1 is a safe haven. Let's take a look right now and see where people are queuing up for. You've now got 3,325 guilds in Battlefield Level 1. And some people may ask, well, why? Why is Battlefield 1 the most popular battlefield? Because you don't have to worry about a full team of Diamond 3s showing up at some point in Battlefield 2, 3, 4, and, well, obviously 5, you're going to see that, but in some of these lower battlefields. And, you don't have to throw 50 tokens at one team to take it down, because you don't have. There's a power disparity. There's a huge power disparity. Somebody having a full team of D3 Necrons, having some other certain units that are really strong D3 going in, and then you've got the buffs from the buildings as well, and other things that scale in your favor. I mean, I can't imagine a fight where it literally just boils down to, well, can your ace take out the enemy ace, and your other top players take out these other top players to advance onward? Oh, if they can't, then you guys are hard capped on what points you're going to get, and you're SOL. Battlefield 1, since gold units, gold 1 is the highest, people, have more access to those units, you're not as hard locked. Now, towards the end, I mean, we've had fights in the past where, it was like, well, there's no way we're going to be able to clear out this T1 team anymore. We're completely out of units that can do that towards the very end. That's understandable. That's, resource management, the war is going on. But for some cases, I've heard from people, it's like, well, within the first couple hours, we knew we were already screwed because we couldn't get through this team here. And I'm going to say this again. I feel like there needs to be some restructuring, or either another level added in to this system and things shift around, something. Because the jump from level 1 to level 2, you go from G1 to D3 essentially. That's crazy. That is absolutely crazy. I mean, I don't know how the matchmaking accommodates for that on the back end. I don't know, but the fact that it could mathematically happen, that the fact that it could happen, it leaves it on the table for it to happen, if that makes any sense. So, yeah, not a fan of that. Battlefield 1, you're not going to have that situation. Could we end up fighting another tough guild that has a lot of disposable units, and it could be a war of attrition and it could get really really tough? Sure. But it's our battle to win or lose at that point, and it doesn't feel hopeless, which that's part of the reason why I'm in Battlefield 1. I mean, I wasn't aware for initially that you could end up with D3 units being fought in level 2. And now that I think about that, I'm like, well, I went from, man, you know, we'll probably do Battlefield 2 in a couple months when everybody gets up a bit more, to Jesus Christ, we could end up in a really bad situation given how our guild is doing overall. I don't want to do that to my guys. What's the point? Oh, for a little bit of multiplier for a couple more credits? I mean, right now, where are we on the leaderboard? We're looking at potentially, that's our box that we're going to be getting for here. You know, where does that box break up into? Let's take a look. Current rewards. So I mean, 251 to 1,000. I mean, and if you last time we got a little bit under 1,000. So how much did we really miss out on? So we had 4,500 credits there. We missed out on 720 guild credits. And the other thing people say, and I've seen this a bit, and okay, I can give you the fact that, sure, if you win 4 matches in, let's say, Battlefield 2, you know, you're going to get a bit more credits and a bit more score. You're going to get, or even Battlefield 3, let's say you win 4 matches there, you're getting 450 a pop. Well, okay, cool. Yeah, you win that point. Yes, obviously, if you get, you know, four rounds won, it's the same amount as if you won 6 rounds in level 1. So 4 level 3 wins equals 6 level 1 wins in terms of those credits. The thing I feel like we need some more information on or data is, how likely are your lower level players that you're dragging into this higher battlefield, are they likely to get, let's say, 1K to 1,500 credits for their fighting and their contribution? Because I know my guys on the lower end have a better chance of actually obtaining those credits because they're not trying to fight diamond units or working more on gold units. They are fighting mostly, they're focusing on the lower tier stuff like the bronze 1 fights, and there's plenty of those. So they're more likely to get their credits and make a meaningful contribution and take down some defenses instead of having to hide behind some heroes in the guild who are like level 50 or 60 and, you know, them coming in and saving the day. Well, they saved the day, but they also minimize the amount of credits those other people are getting. So I don't have any hard numbers on that. So I can't really speak to it too much, but it just, from a logical standpoint, it would feel like if the lower level players have more lower level fights to do, they have more chances to gain more credits, as opposed to if they're fighting an uphill battle where they need silvers, golds, and diamonds to efficiently take out a defensive team. So we'll probably see more of that down the road. But with that being said, it's just I'm not sure what is a good way for all this to go. I'm really still confused. I mean, I thought the guards were a good way to kind of equalize things out and kind of put people into their proper battlefield levels. I mean, if you were going into an improper battlefield level with what you had and you weren't well equipped, those guardsmen just ruined your day. I mean, I thought more about it. Why did we do so well with Battlefield Level 1 with those guards? Why were we okay? And besides coordination, everything is, we didn't have too many people who were outside the realm of possibility for fighting what was thrown at them. I mean, so maybe it was a maybe it's box disparity. Maybe that's the main situation there. I don't know. But anyway, with that being said, I want to see what your guys' thoughts on things are. I am looking forward to seeing what we get thrown at for tomorrow. If it's going to be a tough fight, if it's going to be something that's just an absolute joke. And again, I don't know what all the right and wrong answers are for all this. I just know that a lot of people apparently voted for 6 wars, and I'm over here like, can I go take a nap now, please? Because I mean, eh, they're fun, they're cool, but they're also super stressful for a leader. They're making sure everybody enlists, which I showed you guys a minute ago. We're at 30 of 30. Thank God I don't have to find anybody extra, but that's 3 more wars I gotta do that for. But anyway, we'll catch you on the next one. And again, I don't know. I'm super. I'm hoping that if that fight we just did was the peak of what to expect from Battlefield Level 1, that next month we get some meaningful buildings again, because the troop garrisons are obviously not meaningful anymore. They've been nerfed into the ground. They're just a mild inconvenience. Both myself and the opposing party didn't take out both troop garrisons until much later, and they were low priority. Med Bay still being priority 1. But anyway, with that being said, I'm curious to see how your guys are doing with your matches, how you're winning, how things are going in terms of overall participation as well. Are you guys starting to see people drop off? Did you lose people after War 1? Did they come back for War 3 after realizing War 2 wasn't as bad for the guards? Or let me know. I'm curious to see how things are going. And as always, I may have one more slot opened up at some point here, and I would be looking for a level 40 plus to kind of have some higher artillery in for when we do fight some tougher battles. So, it's not an immediate slot. This probably going to let this person, they're going to keep playing for this war and then go to our sub guild. But that's something to consider as well if you do want to join my team and see kind of how we handle things and how we do things on the other end. Which, well, yeah. Take a look behind the curtain. Anyway, take care, guys. Peace.